Presentation today is on the Gates-McGinitie Formal Reading Assessment. This assessment was designed and published in 1926 as a formal reading assessment by a Columbia University professor, Arthur I. 30 years later, it was revised in 1956 with the assistance of William H. MacGinitie, hence the name of the test. This version is now in the 4th edition, and it can be used online and in paper, so it's got caught up with today's trends. This test can be individually or group administered, so it can be used for a whole class, individually one student, or it could even be used for just a small group of students. Again, like I said, it is on paper or it can be online as well. This assessment is a survey-like exam, so it is all multiple choice and no formal written. And it assesses kindergarten through 12th grade. And it not only aligns with the state standards, but also national standards, specifically the Common Core standards. And this test was originally intended to be used for struggling readers, but like I said, it can be used for a whole class as well. So this test not only tracks reading achievement of a student, but it also tracks where they are struggling in. So through this test, you can see the progress of decoding skills, phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary, and comprehension. How this test works is it's broken down into multiple different levels. It's broken down into the pre-reading level, beginning reading level, early independent reading levels 1 and 2, mature reading levels, and adult reading levels. And based on where the student is in their academic level, it could take either from 55 minutes all the way up to 100 minutes long. The pre-reading level is designed for kindergarten students, but it can also be used earlier than that. This test is used to assess the child's ability to use pictures to convey meaning, and this test is an assessment of literacy concepts, oral language concepts, letter and letter sound correspondences, and listening comprehension. The beginning reading level is designed for first graders, and this test is used to assess the student's ability to convey meaning from pictures and identify smaller words. And this is an assessment of initial consonants and clusters, final consonants and clusters, vowels, and sight words. The early independent reading levels 1 and 2 are designed for early independent readers, and it's typically for grades 1 and 2, and it is designed to test decoding skills and comprehension, but also it could be an assessment of word knowledge and vocabulary. The mature reading levels go anywhere after the early independent reading levels all the way up until high school. So it's typically designed for grades 3 through 12, and it measures overall reading ability, and it is divided into 2 sections, which are the comprehension and vocabulary knowledge. And this test is geared towards student level. So each year they will get a different test based on what their academic level is, so that we can track the progress throughout the years. After students graduate high school, they can still see this test because there are adult reading levels, which are intended for adults, college students, employers, and other adult education programs such as vocational schools. So this test can be used by employers sometimes to test their employees and potential applicants. And this level test is used to test the overall reading ability of an adult reader. So again, anyone who's in college, anyone who's going into a new job field, it can be used any adult. And this is an assessment of comprehension, reading ability, and word knowledge. With the Gates-McGinitie test, schools will be able to identify students for further individual diagnostic testing, plan instructional emphasis, identify at-risk students prior to further testing, identify students needing more advanced materials, measure growth of learning, evaluate effectiveness, and it also reports to parents on the student progress. So there are many different benefits of this test, some we have already mentioned, but this test can be used each year to show growth through the years. So like I said, it's kindergarten through 12th grade and even adults. And it will show strengths and weaknesses of the students' decoding skills, comprehension skills, and word knowledge. This test also aligns with standards, which are specifically the Common Core standards. So administration really likes it because it goes with their standards, and it makes it easier to administer. It is an alternate form of pre- and post-testing since the students are being tested each year if it's implemented in the school fully. So each year they will receive a new test so that way they can see what they've learned and what their progress is. And it can help identify students that need additional help or even special education services. The final benefit is a really big one because it creates an open communication through the parents, school administration, and teachers, because each party that is involved with the student will see the progress of the students because they will receive a report together. That way you don't have to worry about making sure the parents know because they receive their own as well. And those are just my references.